The ghetto, boom, 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 boom. Talking about the ghetto. Lesser girl, watching this Love and Hip Hop reunion reminded me of all the goddamn reasons why my ass moved the hell up out of Miami in the first place way back when. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Y'all want to talk about it? Here it go. I got a sore throat because I recorded 15 minutes of this video, then I realized my wireless mic had died. So if the sound is a little bit off, it's because my wireless mic is charging and I'm using the camera mic right now because I wanted to get this done because I got to go to therapy at 2:30, and if I didn't get this done by then y'all ass wasn't going to get it until tonight, or might not even get it until tomorrow because I'm going to start drinking. At any rate, did you get into this Love and Hip Hop Miami reunion from last night? I must say, Love and Hip Hop Miami, the first 2 seasons was whack as fuck, but season 3, it feels like y'all got in touch with the true pulse of Miami and y'all hoes had it going on. Season 3 was the shit and this reunion was everything. So first things first, let's talk about the obvious. Nina Parker, have you seen her? Tell me, have you seen her? Seen her? Oh. Nina Parker was not there. Now I'm going to say this. I would never talk bad against anybody who does ultimately what I'm aspiring to do, which is host and be a talk show host and things of that sort. But it did feel good just seeing a new face in the hosting chair. When Nina first started hosting the reunions, you know, and granted she was new to it, it was a little shaky, but then she got good as it progressed, and we got used to seeing Nina. When I saw Claudia Jordan's face, I was like, okay, you know, Claudia's got radio experience. She's got the show on Fox Soul, or whatever the case may be. But I'm going to tell you what I really love. I love the fact that they paired Claudia with Kendall, and those two were able to ping pong off of one another. Kendall was in the back getting the tea. Kendall was in the back talking to the people once it got too heated on stage, and they were still able to get some answers out of people who ordinarily you wouldn't have been able to get anything out of because they were too busy fighting and fussing on the stage and pulling weeds and talking about each other's dresses. So listen, shouts out to Claudia Jordan and Kendall. Y'all did an amazing job. Y'all always know with the reunions, I always start with the fashions, honey, the fashions. And I have never done this, but I'm going to say, Claudia Jordan, I love that sequin pantsuit that you had on. Trina looked it good. Joy looked it good. I love what JoJo had on. JoJo looked it good. Everybody else, I ain't really see what y'all had on. So I'm going to just leave it at that. I ain't going to clown nobody fashions. I'm just going to leave it at that. MJ and Amara. So the reunion opens up with MJ and Amara, and we find out that MJ and Amara are no longer in a romantic relationship, but MJ is still living there with Amara, and I'm sitting there looking like, Amara, girl, he wins. Listen, MJ was not in need of love from you. The nigga was in need of a place to stay, okay? And your issue was that you were supporting the household and paying all the damn bills, and he wasn't contributing. And mama, you in the same goddamn situation. At least in y'all romantic situation, you was paying all the bills and getting fucked and licked down. Let me tell you something. That nigga would be laying up in my shit for free. Every goddamn time he heard my car pull up, that bitch had been in my bedroom butt-ass naked on his knees with his tongue sticking out waiting for me to sit on his damn face. No, God, Amara, you double losing. You double losing. Now, you had put him in his one suitcase out on the episode. How the fuck you let him come back in? I thought love didn't live there no more. Please stop calling me. Love don't live here anymore. It's a vacancy. But I thought love didn't live there no more, but apparently MJ still do. And then as a result of him living there, Shay and Amara kind of get into a little back and forth because Shay was like, you know, you need to man up, you need to move on out. But here's the question I got, Shay. The man obviously there because he ain't got no place to stay and he ain't got no income. I know you got to have at least two bedrooms and some extra square feet. Shay, I know you down there in Brickell or downtown on the beach somewhere. Why can't MJ move in there with you? If he moving there with you, he can get from out of there with her. Because you know her and his mama don't want his ass there. MJ, you better than me. Because these people don't got on TV and made it known that they didn't want your ass there. You still standing. I just don't even understand how you leave a house and have confidence to stick your key in the lock and turn it and walk in and say hello to the people. Then go to your room and that lady in there paying all the bills. Like, baby, I need to see the P&L. I need to see some canceled checks. Because this is just some bullshit. And I don't know which one of y'all are in a more stupid situation. Amara with her money or MJ with his heart. And quiet as it's kept, Amara, MJ is the one still winning, and he is still fulfilling the prophecy that Annie set forth for you. You being used. You being used. And it ain't no amount of money and love there is no amount of love in this world that's gonna make two people equally yoked that are not. And I'm not saying that y'all can't come back together later in life and get y'all shit together, but in the meantime, in between time, MJ need to take his ass down to the Target assistant manager and trainee program and contribute to the damn household. And speaking of contributing to the household, PreMadonna, you was contributing too much to their storyline, but it didn't have anything to do with you. For the life of me, I could not understand why Pre kept jumping into Amara and MJ's situation when she wasn't even on the main couch. She was on the waiting couch. Now here's the thing, right? With PreMadonna, because you was cool or whatever till you got your ass on Miss Shanika radio station and was talking shit about me or whatever the case may be. I'm willing to let that go. I'm willing to let that go, Pre, and me and you can start over. But here's the thing. I feel like Pre, because she was on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and she didn't really come with it that first season and the boat don't came back around, that she feels the need to just really come with it and be boisterous, and it's coming off annoying as fuck. Moreover, it's coming off as raunchy and ghetto and ratchet as hell. And it's just like, you know, for somebody who made $5.2 million a year and got this business and got this and all this other stuff, you just expect a level of Madam C.J. Walker-ness coming out of a little Michelle Obama and just not being so fucking ghetto. Not to mention you too old for that damn shit. And it's like, why is you interjecting yourself in everybody's storyline? But I can tell you why. Because these hoes trying to hold on to this Love and Hip Hop notoriety and this Love and Hip Hop popularity by any means necessary. And we're going to talk about it as we roll to this thing. Well, speaking of PreMadonna, PreMadonna rolls now. And as much as I haven't agreed or rocked with PreMadonna in her tenure across this Love and Hip Hop journey of hers, there were two things in this reunion that Mama said that made me really connect with her. And the first was her reason for leaving Miami. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to get real serious and real personal with y'all. I completely connected with PreMadonna when she said she had to leave Miami to create a better life for herself and to get in the bag and do so on and so forth, because you will get stuck being a product of your environment. And you saw how Trina and Trick was shaking their head. Let me clear up something for y'all, the misconceptions. When y'all see Miami, y'all see them tourist brochures. Y'all see the beach, y'all see the fancy restaurants, y'all see the tourist attractions, y'all see the clubs, y'all see the margaritas and the senoritas with the flowers in their hair. But I'm here to let you know, that is not Miami for most people that live here. And that's not just black, that's Cuban, black, white. Most people in Miami do not live on the beach. That's the rich folks' life, and that's the ideal life that we all striving for. Miami is a very, very, very hard place to live, especially if you do not have a lot of money and if you black. Number one, we have zero industry here other than tourism. All right, so majority of our employment in Miami is hospitality. You a server, a bartender, a maid, a valet driver, so on and so forth. Aside from that, when I say there's no industry, Miami is a very blue-collar city, okay? Everybody got a good county job. And y'all know how hard those is to get. You a correctional officer, you work on the dock, you a police officer, 911 dispatcher, so on and so forth. If you black and you come from the hood, 9 times out of 10, your life and your circumstances put you in a situation where you got a conviction, you a felon, you can't get no county job. So all you can do is either hustle, strip, or scam. And that's what a lot of people do. Coupled with the cost of living in Miami is super duper high. A lot of people don't know this. When I moved to Atlanta, I had not been to Atlanta since I was 12 years old. My parents took us there for a family, for a wedding and a summer vacation. I didn't know shit about Atlanta. I graduated college. My first job out of college paid $41,000 a year. My first apartment was $1,100 a month on County Line Road, Lake Edge at Walden Pond. Everybody from the Carroll City area know about Lake Edge. I lived at Lake Edge at Walden, baby. With my $41,000 a year and my college degree and my Nissan Altima at the time that was 2 years used when I got it. Okay, it had leather and a Bose 6 disc, but between my student loans, my condo, my insurance, and my rent, I was coming up negative $300 a month, and that was with a college degree. So I packed all my shit and I moved to Atlanta. And I'm gonna tell you this: if it was not for Atlanta, I would not be what y'all see today. And here is why. The only examples I had of success growing up in Black Miami was niggas that sold dope and niggas who moved up in the correction officer field. That was it. There was no black accountants, no black lawyers, no black doctors, no black business people. This shit did not exist. Atlanta is the nearest biggest city located between 5 HBCUs. That's why you see such an influx of so much black intelligentsia in Atlanta and so many black professionals and black people doing well. Home ownership, entrepreneurship, business. So when I moved to Atlanta, it taught me how to dream bigger. It taught me how to dream higher. It put me in rooms with people who actually could lay out the floor plan on how it is I'm supposed to do X, Y, Z, and not just go down to the county and become a robot or a factory worker in some county job and sit there for 30, 40 years until I retire. And no shade to anybody who had great county jobs, because my parents were county workers and they took very good care of us off Miami-Dade County. Nonetheless, I knew that God and the universe had something bigger for me. And following suit with Pre, she knew that the universe had something bigger for her. But she could have never became what she became had she stayed down here in Miami. The level of poverty, ignorance, and violence amongst black people it runs rampant, and it is hard. So I actually clap, whereas I disagree with Pre a lot. Me and her actually bonded and connected in that vein, because I totally get it. Now back to the story at hand. Pre and Tip sit down and talk about how, you know, PreMadonna just up and got up out of here and did what she had to do, and they came to an understanding, which was great. But let's talk about something else really quickly. I want to talk about PreMadonna and Annie real quick as we talk about Pre jumping in that shit with Amara. PreMadonna, you fucked up the people relationship. And before I get on you, I want to get on Annie. And me and Annie friends. Now, whether we be friends after I say this, now we're still going to be friends, because I ain't going to go in on Annie, but I'm going to say this. Annie, that was some messy ass shit that you let Pre pull you into. It ain't even like you knew Amara La Negra. It'd be different if Amara was your homegirl cousin. And so out of loyalty to your homegirl or your best friend, you was like, I'ma put you up on game because I don't want to see your cousin hurt. You and Pre was friends. That relationship was 6-7 years ago. Pre ain't even shit to Amara. Pre just about meeting Amara. Y'all didn't owe Amara nothing. So I'm not understanding why either one of y'all felt so compelled to go put sis up on game. Annie coming to Annie coming to Amara, telling Amara that bullshit literally is the equivalent of Annie seeing some random female in Aventura Mall with a nigga she used to date and walking up to her and saying, excuse me, miss, let me tell you something about your man. It was pointless. And the gag is, Annie, it was bad press because you did that messy ass shit and you got nothing for it. You didn't get called back. You didn't get paid. You didn't get offered a spot on next season. You didn't get no bookings. You didn't get no radio interviews. You didn't get no blog interviews. You got nothing for it. You didn't get no more followers. You didn't get a blue check on your social media. You did this messy shit and got nothing for it. And now your name in the TV world is the pretty light-skinned bitch that was messy. And Pre, let me take it back. Pre, I do understand why you did it. You did it to make good TV because you know Cole, you Miami, and you know that shit you did was foul. That shit would never fly in these Miami streets. It just wouldn't. But I get it. You got a job to do. You ain't got a main storyline. You got to figure out a way to keep yourself intertwined in what's going on so you can keep this marketing vessel of a show running so you can promote your products and stay relevant. I totally get the hustle, but the shit is messy. And the question that you have to ask is, how much of your soul and how much of your reputation is you willing to sell to entertain these folks on this damn show? And it looks like y'all hoes ain't got no goddamn boundaries. Now, moving forward, let's talk about Trina versus Jullian. Jullian, I don't give a good goddamn what you say. You got them people money. Now, I don't know Jullian personally. I met him one time at Houston's in Aventura. Me and Jill Tracy was down there having some lunch and he was in there. and I got a chance to shake his hand and talk to him for 45 seconds. I can't tell you nothing about him. I don't know nobody that know him. But Jullian, one thing that I do know is energy, and I got a very good spirit of discernment. The way you was up there hemming and humming and backpedaling and pussy popping, you did something scandalous with that money. And I love the fact that Trina broke it down. She was like, no shade to Amara La Negra, but at the time in which you got the deal, Amara was not the artist that was going to give you enough leverage to get 300,000 up out of some people. Now, here's the thing. Was the money Trina's money? Absolutely not. I don't think it was physically her money. I think that the money was earmarked to be used for Trina's project. So yet and still, Trina does have a right to be mad. Now, as far as he stole $300,000 from me, that's very strong. That's very strong trigger language, because it creates the image that he went into your account or had the royalties circumvented to him. He misappropriated the money. That's a better way. So you know what? It is a matter of semantics. At the end of the day, Jullian, as much as I'm trying to help you in this situation, it still makes you a thief. Then it don't make it no better. You had the Jesse Wu situation last season. It don't make it no better that Amara is saying you have some shady dealings. Then Trick said you were selling his music overseas. And Trick, as irrational and crazy as he can be, sometimes when he sat down on the sofa and just said, why is it nobody in here got one good thing to say about your business practices? Or why is it that nobody in here is defending you? That makes a whole lot of sense. It's like, bruh, this don't look good. And the question that I have, Jullian, is, okay, let's just say you're completely right. Trina's absolutely mistaken, and the $300,000 was yours for a side deal. Side deal to do what? And like Trina said, now she getting calls from lawyers about Amara La Negra. You don't sign Amara to Rockstar Music without Trina's knowing. It sounds like all kind of IRS tax evasion, racketeering, misappropriation. It sounds like all kind of embezzlement and fraud and money laundering. You got all type of shit going on in it that you can't explain, and it just don't look good, my brother. Moving on, PreMadonna versus Jocelyn. You know, this was another one of those moments where I connected with Pre. And I always connect with people when they are real. I think one of the biggest issues that I had with Pre and the character that she plays on this show was the fact that everything was what I got. My bags. Even on this, I'm out here in pen curls and my Chanel slides. And I know what I'm about to say sound real ugly, but it's the mark of a bitch who ain't never had shit. And I get it. A lot of people have hard lives. That girl don't make no qualms about the fact that, you know, she grew up hood or however she grew up in the hood. So she didn't have shit. But it also speaks to what y'all value system is now. And it's like, mama, it's so much more to life than bags and cars and my wigs and my clothes. Like, is that all you about at this age? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know, for somebody like me that's a little more conscious, it's just a little off-putting. At the end of the day, your Chanel slippers is a piece of fabric wrapped around your hooves. It's a piece of fabric. It's a $7 piece of fabric at that the world has convinced you is worth $500. But I can take you to Joann's Fabric right now and get that same fabric and make you that same shoe. It is an over-glamorized and popularized piece of fabric. And y'all wear that shit as a badge of honor, as if it makes y'all. And for me, somebody like me that's off-putting, but it impresses somebody. I think that's a large part of my, it's always about what she got and what she making. And I ain't hating. You came from the bottom to the top, but I'm going to tell you how you did it. Selling them waist trainers. Now, is it me? And Pre, I'm going to have to get you together real quick. I don't understand how somebody trying to sell a health and beauty product and they ain't healthy and beautiful. Like you talking about what waste, you know, her motto is the waste game. What waste? Them wastes. Okay, PreMadonna got all the wastes. All them wastes. You what waste? Them wastes. I'm starting to think PreMadonna ass is a witch, and for everybody who order a what's the waste, she gained it. She take away your waist and put it on hers. Matter of fact, PreMadonna ain't got no waist. That's the equator, bitch. That's the glow. Like, you is big, and like you said, you started crying because you said everybody create crack fat jokes about you, and that's the only thing they can say about you. No, girl, them girls just ain't smart. That ain't the only damn thing they can say about you. Sit down with me or make me mad enough, baby. I'll tell you some more stuff they can say about you, but I dug it. And them fat jokes did hurt her feelings, because you see she teared up and she was saying that there was women in her DM saying, well, if you big, what am I? Bigger? If you big, then what am I? Bigger? And if I'm bigger, then what am I? Too damn big? Okay? And listen, it ain't about body shaming people. We all come in different shapes, sizes, and flavors, but we cannot pretend that there's a fine line between thick and healthy. And bitch, you need to get this under control. And the same thing goes for skinny. I'll be the first person to put myself out there. You know, my doctor told me that he wanted me to gain 15 pounds. I've always historically just been skinny and underweight. You know what I'm saying? And so it goes both ways. You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, what waste? Dumb waste is bitch. But I did connect with the fact when PreMadonna teared up, because it was like, you know what? She's giving us a real moment. And what people don't understand about this reality TV game, and I have been trying to tell you, daughters, take out your notebooks, because I'm finna give you some free game. Everybody think conflict and rah and fighting is the way to solidify your spot and to be entertaining. And reality TV, the word is real. Reality. It works when you are real. And it works when you are vulnerable and transparent. When you're vulnerable, real, honest, forthright, and transparent, you don't have to do all this rah. Because honestly and truthfully, PreMadonna, you had done upset the reunion way too many times. You was in backstage getting your hair curled. You coming all out on trick. You was just doing way too much for camera time. And it was very off-putting. Nevertheless, that's what it is. And speaking of keeping it real, I must say, Trina, listen to me, daughter. I got to give you a golden star, because I'm actually glad season 3 you actually showed up for work. And not on this, I'm the queen of Miami and I'm above doing reality TV. I'm going to do the bare minimum with that whack-ass, boring-ass storyline that you had for the first 2 seasons. I am glad that we got to see the real Trina. Now, am I upset or am I happy about the fact that we had to see her in tense situations? Absolutely not. But I'm glad that we got a fucking real bone out of you for once in a goddamn change, and not this character that you was trying to play these first 2 seasons, or trying to sell us on this boring ass relationship between you and Ray. Hats off to y'all. I hope y'all in love have all the kids, all the children. Just don't have all the wastes. But we didn't want to see that. We wanted to see some real emotion. We wanted to see you mad with Trick. We wanted to see you cuss a bitch out if that's how you felt in the moment. Now, I will say this. Trina is much like myself. I'm one of the most patient people you'll ever meet. You could do all but hit me, and I'll sit there and let it ride. But I'm here to let you know I don't have a middle gauge. And I go from calm to crazy at the flick of a switch. I think Trina looked back over that season and she realized how disrespectful Nikki Natural was, and she was not here for the shit. And I already told y'all, there's not a bitch alive that can read like a Miami bitch. First of all, in Miami, you not gonna survive if you ain't got no talk game. My parents put me in private school. I transferred out of private school in 3rd grade to public school. I was the skinny, nerdy kid. I couldn't fight because I had never been in no fight, and I don't come from one of them rough hood backgrounds with you and your cousins in the backyard fighting. No shade, I ain't above anybody. That's just not how I was raised. And so when I got to elementary school, the kids was picking on me and fighting me and shit. I was smarter than all of them. And I never forget, one day I ranked on this boy so hard in class, he started crying. And I knew then that was my strength, and I honed my mouth. That's why even now, when it comes time to get in arguments with friends and shit like that, I have to get away and walk to the bathroom. Because I've been on fucked around and said some shit to you that we can't recover from. And that's why I identify with Dr. Heavenly so much. Y'all don't understand. Miami, this shit is beautiful, but it's the goddamn jungle out here, bitch. It's survival of the fittest. And Trina's mouth was so goddamn spicy. Trina said, told that hoe, I don't talk to a bitch with kids and got braces. With kids and got braces. Trina called the hoe dusty, told her she had to fuck old men to pay her bills, honey. And I thought when she was referring to old men, she was talking about trick daddy. Come to find out, she was talking about 80-year-old old men. She talked about the girl velveteen dress. She wore that girl the fuck out. And here's the thing that I don't understand, right? Nikki, you must have been in the portables when you was in school, because you had no reason to be as disrespectful as you was to Trina and those other girls, quite frankly. Like, you came through smelling yourself. And did you think you was somebody because you was dating Trick Daddy? Like, no shade, but Trick Daddy can't put you no place in life other than the front of the line at Sunday's Eatery. Like, you was acting like you was dating Donald Trump Jr. or one of the Obama kids or somebody that, like, you just came through fab like you was that girl. And you was just not that girl. I mean, if you want to be the queen of comforters, go ahead and have at it. If you want to be the Duchess of South, by all means. But girl, just what you got in life, what you accomplished, who you was dating, did not qualify you to step onto the scene crispy and clean, being all mean. Then you couldn't even rap. I just threw a couple bars out there quicker than you could at that strip club. And it's sad because it was time to pay the piper at this reunion. And when Trina was going off on your ass, you could tell Nikki Natural was sitting there like, fuck, you know, I really did fuck up. And here's the gag. These girls gonna ice you out and look as if Trick ain't have your back and he ain't here for you, so you won't be back next season. As opposed, if you had played your cards right and got in with them other girls and stopped thinking that you was above them, I guess because you was dating Trick, you could have did something. Like, I really do believe in what Sukiana, Hood Brat, and Chameleon got going on. I really do think the three of them can tour together and beat something. I think the people is looking for it. I just missed something in talking about them. Santana and Tip. That was another interesting situation. I'm going to go back to Trina. I rarely do this, and I don't know if he would be open to it. Santana, I would love to go to lunch with you. I would. Like, I really do believe in each one teach one, right? And I think that when some of us get in these positions of influence, power, and media, we get caught up in the hype, we get caught up in the money, we get caught up in the sensation, we get caught up in the feel good, and none of us ask to be role models, mentors, or anything like that. But when there's such a lack of representation of certain people from certain communities, inadvertently you end up becoming a pseudo spokesperson for that community. You end up becoming the go-to person. You end up becoming a role model in that situation. You end up becoming the one who has to hold up the entire community, even though it's unfair and it's not something that you asked for. Santana, I believe, and this is no shade, there is a responsibility that you have that I believe based on your age you're not aware of. And I would just love to just sit down with you and talk to you about some things and just kind of see where your head is at, and just, I don't know, being a little older, just pour a few things into you to help you better navigate and help you help us. I'll never forget a piece of advice that my sister, Miss Sophia, gave me. Miss Sophia was working at V103 in Atlanta or whatever, and there was some stuff going on with the contracts, and you know, her contract did not get renewed, and some of the other co-host contracts did not get renewed. And at the time, there was a potential opportunity for me to work at V103, and I had been like going up there substituting, doing some things, and I would have been coming in behind Miss Sophia as, you know, the funny gay character, whatever the case may be. And I'll never forget, I was talking to Miss Sophia on the phone, and Miss Sophia said to me, and I will carry this advice to the day I die. She said, "Funky Dineva, I left the door open for you. And if you go up there and cut up this, that, and the third, they're going to close the door for anybody like us to ever come through here again." She said, "Whatever you do, make sure you leave the door open for somebody else." And that shit stuck with me. That shit touched me. Make sure you leave the door open for somebody else. And that actually would be the meat and potatoes of the conversation that I would want to have with Santana. You know, in a world where polls is breaking down barriers right now, and people like Janet Mox and the T.S. Madisons and even Bobby Lights coming through and being as flamboyant as he was on TV, it's created a space for you to safely be Santana. You've got to let these people, you've got to conduct yourself in such a way where these people do not regret ever letting us in. You got to leave that door open for somebody else. And that's just true tea, my brother. Going back to Trina though. Trina was mad as fuck, bamming on the goddamn door. That's right, bitch. We as motherfucking Miami Hurricanes, we would be Tasmanian Devils in that bitch. Kendall was in the back like, get security. Y'all don't let her come back here. Trina was, open the door, bitch! Open the door! I mean, Trina, you know where she stay. Let's go right now. Joy, y'all meet me around Perry House, bitch. I'm ready. I drive or whatever. I ain't going to jail because somebody got to live to talk about this shit. And if y'all hurt the girl, I'm snitching. I ain't going to prison for no bitch. But I drive. Call Perry and call me. He got the number. Anyway, that was the Love and Hip Hop Miami reunion. I can't wait till we see part 2. It looks like they're going to have some more goings on with the Get Down. If you're new to my channel, be sure to like and subscribe. And you know what, y'all? I think I'm going to try to get some interviews with these people. I got a direct connection to Marla Negro. I got a connection to Joy. I'm going to see if I can get Trina on the line. Y'all want me to do some Love and Hip Hop Miami interviews? I think that'd be real cute if we could set them up, either do them over the Skype or do them at my in-house studio. I'm going to try to set that up this week since we on quarantine and ain't nobody got nothing to do and can't leave the house. And I will call y'all hoes later. Bye.